The Dispossessed Merchant. In a prosperous city, there lived a wealthy merchant named Vimal. Vimal was known throughout the land for his vast fortune, his luxurious house, and his fleet of ships that brought him the finest goods from distant places. He owned lands, fine silks, gold, and jewels, and his storehouses were always filled to the brim with treasures. Vimal's life was one of extravagance and indulgence. Yet, despite his wealth, he was a proud and arrogant man, always boasting of his success and looking down upon those who had less. The people of the town admired Vimal from a distance, but they also pitied him, for they knew that his pride and greed had made him distant and disconnected from the true joys of life. Vimal cared little for the suffering of others and believed that happiness was something to be bought with wealth. He never shared his riches with the poor, nor did he lend a hand to those in need. One day, a great misfortune befell Vimal. His ships, loaded with precious goods, were caught in a terrible storm at sea. The merchant's entire fleet sank, and he lost everything: his goods, his wealth, and his ships. In a matter of days, Vimal's once thriving business was reduced to nothing. He was left penniless, with no source of income and no friends to turn to. His grand house was sold off, and he was forced to live in a small, humble home on the outskirts of the city. Vimal's life fell into despair. He wandered through the streets, now a beggar, a man who had once known luxury but now knew only hunger and poverty. The townspeople who had once looked up to him now turned their backs, seeing him as just another person in need. Vimal felt ashamed, his pride shattered. He couldn't understand why such misfortune had befallen him. One day, while sitting alone on the edge of the marketplace, a man approached Vimal. This man, unlike the others, did not look down on him. Instead, he spoke gently. "I have seen you in your glory, Vimal. And now I see you in your sorrow. But know this, true wealth does not lie in what we have, but in what we give." Vimal looked up, confused. "What do you mean?" he asked, his voice heavy with despair. The man smiled warmly. "I am a simple traveler, but I have learned much. The wealth of a man is not in his possessions, but in his heart. The richness of life comes from the love we share and the compassion we show to others. You have lost everything, but you still have your ability to change, to learn, and to give. In this, you can find a greater treasure than all the riches you once had." Vimal felt the weight of the stranger's words, though he didn't fully understand. "I have nothing left to give," he said, his voice trembling. "I am poor, and I have no one to turn to." The traveler sat beside him. "You may have lost your material wealth, but your heart remains. If you wish to find peace and true joy again, begin by helping others, no matter how small the gesture. Start with one person, and you will find that the act of giving will fill your heart in ways wealth never could." The next morning, Vimal decided to follow the stranger's advice. He wandered through the town, looking for someone in need. He came across an elderly woman sitting alone at a market stall, unable to carry her heavy bags. Vimal, despite his own struggles, offered to help her. With a humble heart, he carried her belongings to her home and, in doing so, felt a sense of peace he had not known before. As he walked back through the streets, Vimal felt a lightness in his heart. The simple act of helping the woman had given him a deep sense of fulfillment. Over the following weeks, he continued to assist the villagers, offering food to the hungry, helping children with their chores, and supporting those in need. Each time he helped, he felt more connected to the people and more at peace with himself. One evening, as Vimal was sitting by a fire, a monk appeared before him. The monk looked at Vimal with compassionate eyes and said, "Vimal, I see you have learned the true meaning of wealth. The greatest treasure is not in gold or jewels, but in the love and kindness we give to others." Vimal bowed his head in gratitude. "I understand now, monk. I once believed that my wealth made me important. But in losing everything, I have gained something far more valuable: the joy of compassion, the humility of understanding, and the fulfillment of helping others." The monk smiled. "You have indeed discovered a great truth, Vimal. Humility and compassion are the true riches of life. When you give from the heart, you are enriched in ways that material wealth can never match." From that day forward, Vimal lived a life of service and humility. He no longer sought to accumulate wealth or status, but instead, he focused on helping those in need, sharing what little he had with others. His heart was full, not of gold, but of love and compassion. The people of the village began to respect him, not for his former riches, but for his kindness and generosity. Vimal had found true happiness in giving, and in doing so, he became richer than he had ever been in his life. Moral of the story: true wealth is not measured by material possessions or social status, but by the compassion and humility we show to others. It is in giving from the heart, without expectation, that we find true fulfillment. The greatest treasures in life are love, kindness, and the joy that comes from selfless acts of service. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.